Welcome back, guys, and today we are going to take a look at a very interesting question, which is a question that shows the relationship between kinetic energy and momentum. Let's move. As you can see, we are in the 10th series of Question Decoded. Now, moving on, two bodies, A and B, have equal kinetic energy. That is, the kinetic energy of A, I'll be using it as Ka, is equal to the kinetic energy of B, Kb. Now, moving on with the question, the mass of A is 9 times the mass of B. So the mass of A, Ma, is equal to 9 times the mass of B. Now, moving on, find the ratio of the momentum of A to that of B. So what we are looking for is the momentum. I'll be using our momentum as P. So we are looking for PA ratio PB. So that is the question. So the first thing is to know the relationship between the kinetic energy and the momentum. So let's take a look. From our Ke equals to half mv squared. These are equation 1 for kinetic energy. What about your momentum? You have your momentum equals to mv. So we make B the subject of formula from this. We are going to have our B equals to P over M. So that's the formula for momentum. I can say this is this is the formula for velocity. Okay, this is equation 2. Now you can substitute this equation 2 into equation 1. So we are now going to have our kinetic energy equals to half M. Instead of writing B, we are now going to use P over M. So we have a P over M all over to all squared. Removing the bracket, we have our Ke equals to half multiplied by M multiplied by, if you remove the bracket, we are going to have P squared divided by M squared. So 1 M, we cancel 1 M. What we have left, we have our Ke equals to half P squared over M. So that's our formula. Or if you like, you can continue 1 multiplied by P squared, we are going to have P squared divided by 2M. So that's the formula for kinetic energy. Let me rewrite it out. So we have our Ke equals to half P squared over M or P squared over 2M. So I'm just going to be using one of them to solve this question. So I'll be using this formula. So in this question, it says Ka equals to Kb. Right? The kinetic energy of A equals to the kinetic energy of B. And we all know this is the formula for the kinetic energy. So I'm just going to assume that half P squared over M for A must equal to what to half P squared over M for what to for B. Now moving on, we have our if you open the bracket, we have half P squared PA squared over MA. We now equals to what to half P squared over MB. Half we cancel half. That's the first thing. The next thing is that it said our MA is 9 times MB. So instead of writing MA, I can just write PA squared divided by what to MA will now be 9MB equals to P squared divided by MB. MB we cancel MB. So you cross multiply. Don't forget we have PB. Okay, if you open the bracket, PB. Okay. Now, if you cross multiply, we are going to have PA squared equals to 9P to PB squared. So you find the square root of this and square root of this. So what do we have? PA we now equals to what? To square root of 9 multiplied by square root of PB squared. So square we cancel square root. What is the square root of 9? PA equals to square root of 9 is 3PB. So we have something like this. Divide both sides by PB, divided by PB, divided by PB. So this cancels this. So what we have? We have our PA over PB, which is ratio PB, we now equals to 3 over 1, which is 3 ratio 1. Thank you very much, everyone.